Good evening, Southeast Texas. Welcome to Weather Plus, where we take an in-depth look at your forecast over the next 7 days. And right now, obviously, Gator Cam is pretty active. This is what we think is going to happen over the next 7 days. This is mainly for the triangle, but it looks like mainly dry weather conditions over the next 7 days. Obviously, hot and humid. Slight chance returns on Sunday late, we think, and then early next week we're going to see a pattern change, and that could bring some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast early next week. So in your allergy report, everything is pretty good at moderate levels. No tree pollen measured today. So here's the crux of the matter tonight. We're watching showers and thunderstorms nearing Lake Livingston, and modeling says that this will basically fall apart as it heads towards Tyler County. Doesn't mean you're not going to get any rain, but I don't think it's going to head in towards Jasper or over towards Lumberton. It should stay off towards maybe Votah to maybe a Woodville line. But right now, those storms just don't show any weakening. So it may be that this is a better chance of shower and thunderstorm activity. And as you can see, quite a bit of lightning. I did see a little bit of hail in there and a little bit of wind below severe levels as this heads towards Tyler County. So we'll keep a 30, maybe 40% coverage of showers and storms this evening, but do be expecting that as the clouds have certainly thickened up over towards Tyler and northern Jasper and northern Newton counties. Quite a number of lightning strikes there. And again, I have not seen any damaging wind or anything of that nature. Otherwise, yeah, I don't see any rotation or anything like that inside the storm, but there is a little bit of wind there. Otherwise, this will be a quick one, maybe an inch as it heads towards western Tyler County over towards Chester and over that way. Otherwise, I think these will stay north of the triangle through this evening. So that's what's going on right now. Otherwise, Futurecast doing a pretty good job of showing those showers and thunderstorms kind of falling apart over Tyler and also Hardin counties this evening. Now, with that, we think that temperatures will then drop into the lower 70s in the lakes. And it's going to be a warm night here in the triangle as skies gradually become partly cloudy. We think that they'll stay into the mid to upper 70s here in the triangle. The models have been notoriously too cool the last several mornings as far as that goes. Otherwise, tomorrow, your day before Friday, looking at, well, a hot day, a humid day with a very small chance of thunderstorm activity north of the triangle. I think it's going to mainly be up towards Hardin, southern Jasper, and southern Newton counties. You're looking at a 10, maybe 20% coverage. So not a big chance. Maybe an isolated shower storm up in the lakes area, but you can see it's all north of the triangle. I still expect high temperatures to be in the lower 90s for most of us tomorrow under partly cloudy skies. The reason that we're going to see these temperatures a little bit above normal is because of upper level high pressure. You can see it's starting to build in towards Texas, but as we take a look, as we head towards, say, Friday, that high is going to be in South Texas. It's not the strongest high in the world, but it will certainly cause sinking air. With high pressure, the air sinks, and when the air sinks, it warms. That induces capping, which makes it tough to create thunderstorm activity. And remember, clouds like to build upwards, but if the atmosphere is sinking, that counteracts the buildup of the clouds, and you have mostly sunny skies because the dry air mixes that out. So mostly sunny expected coming up Friday and maybe Saturday. Little, if any, chance of rain. I won't go with 0, but certainly less than a 10% coverage. And it looks like temperatures, high temperatures, could be maybe 2, 3, possibly 4 degrees warmer than normal. Normal for this time of year is around 90 degrees, so we're talking 93 here in Beaumont. Could be closer to 95 up in the lakes area. Now, as we head towards, say, Sunday, that high moves off towards the southwest, as you can see, over towards the Gulf of California. So that induces a weak northwest flow aloft, like so. And what that also does is it drags any type of upper level disturbances over towards New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, and guess which way they come? Right into our area. So we'll be watching that. So now we're going to switch the amount of moisture because we want to see what we have to work with. Remember, dry air is what we're going to see in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So clouds have a tough time building up into thunderstorms. They don't like dry air. So we want to see if the moisture comes back in the mid-atmosphere coupled with upper-level disturbances. And guess what happens? Look at that. We see a disturbance. This is what we call a short wave. And look at all that moisture. Look how high that is. Now, this is for me, but it indicates that we're pretty high up on the scale as far as the amount of moisture that's in the atmosphere. So clouds like that. Thunderstorms like that. So you can create thunderstorm activity if you have enough lift with these disturbances and short waves. And also you have enough moisture to create those showers and storms. But you can also see it's just one after another will be moving through our area. That's just on Monday. We have another one coming in Tuesday and possibly Wednesday of next week. So the mechanisms are coming together to produce better chances of rain and thunderstorm activity during the first half of next week. Now, this particular model wants to drive a front pretty close to our area, possibly stalling it just off towards the north and west of our area. I suppose that's possible with this trough of low pressure. You can see this trough right there. That's a trough of low pressure, and that is what is going to also bring that front close to our area. So that's another item that we look for to enhance rainfall. So the bottom line is that it's going to be mainly dry the next couple of days and hot, and then, well, wetter as we head towards early next week. Let me see if we have anybody that's texted us with any questions on our text line. And so far, we have no text messages. All right, so we'll continue and show you that we'll also be watching out in the tropics Saharan dust. Quite a plume of it this evening over towards Miami and Florida, and also over towards western Cuba. And this will be headed off towards the Texas Gulf Coast as we head towards Saturday. So skies may be a little more hazy as we head towards Saturday evening, maybe a little more color in the sky as far as the sunset goes. Otherwise, the tropics look pretty good. Now, earlier this week, we were thinking that maybe something could develop off the southeast coastline. Well, that's kind of disappeared, and look how quiet the Gulf of Mexico is. It's pretty amazing. We like it that way. The reliable models through at least the next 10 days don't show anything. One model, the GFS, which has a bad tendency producing phantom storms, does want to develop something out of the Caribbean and take it over towards Florida. We are discounting that because that is a single run, and as we know, we don't use single run models. You may see it on Facebook, you may see it on Twitter, but we don't use that. We use what are called ensembles. The ensemble of the GFS, which is a run of many runs of the GFS, 30 runs of it, shows absolutely nothing. So that's why you can't use that single run model. So based on that and the EPS ensemble, shows nothing the next 7 to 10 days in the tropical Atlantic. So basically what we're expecting is no activity at least the next 7, possibly 10 days in the tropical Atlantic. So as far as the smoke forecast, of course, the Canadian fires have been lofting quite a bit of smoke across the upper Midwest and also the East Coast. That's why you've seen some pretty awesome pictures of the sun setting up that way because of the thick smoke. Looks pretty good here in southeast Texas, but your friends over towards the East Coast and Midwest may have to deal with continuing smoke being brought in from the Canadian wildfires, but we're looking pretty good as far as visibilities over the next couple of days across southeast Texas. So as far as on the Gulf, it looks like almost ideal conditions if you're going to go boating tomorrow with mostly smooth, slightly choppy seas around 1 to 2 and a very light south wind at 5 to 10 knots. High tides tomorrow at Sabine Pass at 1:29 a.m. and 11:51 for your fishing forecast. The water temperature very warm, 88 degrees. So Tonight, again, that 30, maybe 40% coverage of showers and storms, depending upon whether they just make it in towards Tyler County. Again, I don't expect it over towards Newton, Kirbyville, or Jasper per se. It's mainly going to be Tyler and northwest Hardin County if those do materialize. So rain cooling, probably getting into the lower 70s in the lakes and in the mid to upper 70s. Look at that. Mid-county, 78 or 79. You're low in the morning. Port Arthur, close to 80. Yeah, it's going to be warm with light southeast winds becoming calm. Then for tomorrow, we're expecting partly cloudy skies, and as I said, I think our best chances of rain and thunderstorm activity over the area will be inland southeast Texas. See, this is what we do. We break it up instead of the lakes and triangle that you've seen for 40 plus years. This is different, is that we forecast actually for places that are not in the lakes in the triangle. If you're in Buna, Lumberton, or Kuntz, you're not in the lakes up there, or the triangle down there. So we're going with a 20% coverage for inland southeast Texas, Kuntz, Lumberton, Silsbee, Buna, and Deweyville, with a light south to southeast winds, maybe a 10% coverage in the lakes, and partly cloudy here in the triangle with highs in the lower 90s. However, combine the heat and the humidity, and those heat indices could get into the mid to upper 90s. So if you're working outside, I know this is not the hottest day of the year, but keep hydrated, watch yourself. Otherwise, looking at dry weather for the triangle for tomorrow. Now, modeling shows 93. I'm not going to go that warm. It always has a tendency to be way too hot. And so we'll bring it down to about 91, maybe 92 in Beaumont with partly cloudy skies tomorrow. For the lakes area, we'll give it a 10% coverage. And again, watch what modeling does. It's notoriously too hot. It just does not validate. So we'll go about 92, maybe 93, and I'm not buying that unless you get quite a bit of rain up in the lakes area. Lower 70s seems reasonable. Otherwise, about 92, maybe 93 with a 10% coverage. So your 7-day forecast, looking at high temperatures in the lower, perhaps mid-90s up in the lakes, because you're further removed from the coast. You have a little bit less moisture, so you can get up to about mid-90s. We'll go with maybe mostly sunny skies coming up Friday and Saturday. And then with the high beginning to break down as we work on into Sunday, we'll go with a 20% coverage. That may be optimistic, still 93. And then I elected not to go as wet as a lot of models are going at this point. Too far out, changes are still possible. We'll go with a 40 to 50% coverage coming up Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday looks like the best chance with the strongest disturbance pushing into our area, followed by lower chances possibly by Wednesday. But as you can see, those high temperatures coming on down. But before, let me backtrack a little bit. Look at those low temperatures. This is in Beaumont, 77, 78. That's not record territory, but you know, you could be closer to 80, 81, 82 in Port Arthur for low temperatures Sunday morning. Otherwise, that's your 7-day forecast, and that's what we have for you tonight. Otherwise, still no movement there. I guess they're digesting. But I wanted to get back to radar and see how we're doing as far as that shower and thunderstorm activity. Yeah, it's still holding together, so we may have to increase rain chances up towards Cominil, back over to Chester. Obviously, Diboll's getting it, and back over towards Woodville and Ivanhoe. So you're looking at those arriving within the next 45 minutes. It looks like as these head on off towards the east and southeast. They don't look like they're weakening. And let me check winds real quick. And don't see nothing tornadic, but certainly I do see a little bit of wind and maybe some hail